Tonight on Newsbeat, we have the latest on an LSU PD investigation into a campus abduction.
And President Trump is going back to court for his travel ban.
And it's time to pull out your green attire. Newsbeat starts now. It is Thursday, March 16th. I'm Brett Hauser.
And I'm Michaela Morgan. Thanks for joining us. We begin tonight with a reported abduction that allegedly occurred last night on campus.
Tiger TV's Trey Kuvion is here in studio with the latest. Trey.
Details are limited at this time, but here is what we know. Last night, around 11:48 p.m., the university issued an emergency text message stating that LSU PD was investigating a reported abduction near the Kappa Kappa Gamma sorority house. The message reads, quote, LSU PD investigating a reported abduction by armed black male with dreadlocks, black shirt, pants, in stolen gray four-door Hyundai Elantra at sorority area. Victim now safe. Now, late this morning, the university released an official statement saying in part that, quote, this incident is currently under investigation, and we can assure everyone that a thorough investigation is being conducted utilizing every resource available. And members of all sororities at LSU were reportedly not to comment on the incident. And more information on this will likely be released once the investigation is over. Michaela, Brett?
Thanks, Trey. We'll continue to update this story online at lsunow.com as new developments become available. And Trey will be back a little later on with more on campus crime here at LSU. With spring semester in full swing, so are student government elections. And candidates are in campaign mode. Tiger TV reporter Emily Dillon has more.
Well, it's that time of year again for student government. LSU students can expect to see candidates handing out flyers in Free Speech Alley as Monday kicks off active campaigning in the 2017 election. Currently, there are only 2 students on the ballot running for LSU president and vice president. I had an opportunity to sit down with them and discuss some of their plans.
Initiatives that we have are our Safe Rides initiative, where we're hoping to partner with a ride-sharing service like Lyft or Uber to promote discounted rides for students at certain times of the night so that they can have fun, but in a safe manner. We're also looking at expanding Scantron access from specifically just the student union to major buildings on campus.
Each year, student government candidates run on platforms about issues directly affecting LSU students, like clickers and Scantrons. But how are these candidates different?
The major initiative we have this year is our clicker initiative. We're looking to find one clicker that we can implement across campus that will be more inexpensive for students.
The general election will be held on March 27th, so don't forget to log onto your Moodle account and vote. For Tiger TV, I'm Emily Dillon.
The student government debate and open forum is coming up next Thursday. Tiger TV will cover both of those events live for you on lsunow.com.
Tomorrow was supposed to be the day that President Donald Trump's revised immigration executive order was to go into effect. However, a judge in Hawaii has temporarily put that on hold. Jim Mendoza has details.
In granting the temporary restraining order, federal judge Derrick Watson said the public has a vested interest in the free flow of travel, in avoiding separation of families, and in freedom from discrimination. State Attorney General Doug Chin praised the ruling.
You know, the president might make certain decisions, but the way our government works, then we also need to be able to, also take our own steps to be able to check and balance out that whole process.
President Trump was quick to fire back.
This ruling makes us look weak, which, by the way, we no longer are, believe me. Just look at our borders.
The state has maintained the travel ban would harm our tourism industry and universities that benefit from tuition from foreign students. The religious leader of Hawaii's Muslim community claimed his mother-in-law in Syria would be barred from coming to Hawaii. Arguing for the Trump administration by telephone, Acting Solicitor General Jeffrey Wall said the state's claims are pure speculation, dangerously wrong, and restrict the president's ability to protect the nation against terrorism.
When you do a ban based on religion to fulfill a promise of a campaign promise, it's very dangerous because it doesn't make us safer.
The Trump administration's attorney argued the president isn't saying Muslims in these countries are all terrorists. He's saying their governments are not providing the United States with reliable information.
We're going to fight this terrible ruling. We're going to take our case as far as it needs to go, including all the way up to the Supreme Court. We're going to win. We're going to keep our citizens safe. And regardless, we're going to keep our citizens safe. Believe me.
Jim Mendoza, Hawaii News Now.
Trump argued that this decision was political during a rally in Tennessee yesterday. Any appeal by his administration will be heard by the Ninth Circuit, the same court that found his previous ban unconstitutional. Former national...
We'll have more Newsbeat right after the break.
We'll be right back.
Another student's car on fire. LSU PD says Jolicia Brown reportedly sent the message to another student on social media and also threatened to attack him and his mother. Brown admitting to sending the message, but said she didn't intend to harm the victim. She was arrested and issued a misdemeanor summons for improper telephone communication. And a 15-year-old was busted with pot and brass knuckles after he tried to evade police on his bicycle. The incident occurred on March 2nd when LSU PD attempted to make contact with an individual near Cypress Hall. The person attempted to elude a police officer on his bike, but crashed as a result. The 15-year-old was identified by LSU PD and was found to be in possession of marijuana and brass knuckles. He was detained and released with charges of possession of marijuana and carrying a dangerous weapon in a firearm-free zone. And that's it for this week's Crime Briefs. Now back to Michaela and Brett at the desk.
In Marksville, Louisiana, lawyers are close to having a full jury for the trial of police officer Derrick Stafford. The prosecution and defense have agreed on 11 jurors thus far, and they still must find one more juror as well as 2 alternatives. Stafford stands trial charged with second-degree murder in the killing of 6-year-old Jeremy Martis in 2015. Once all jurors are selected, the judge will rule on one venue issues before opening statements can begin. Louisiana faces one of the highest poverty rates in the nation at 19.6%. Homelessness in the capital city is an issue that city and local officials are trying to combat. Mario Harris has details.
For more than 4 years, 46-year-old Brian Walters has pushed his wheelchair through the streets of Baton Rouge. Almost 500 people are homeless throughout the city. For those living like Brian, every day is a fight for survival.
There's no such thing as a normal day out here. Basically, on College Drive, whatever you don't fall asleep with in your pockets or under your head will be gone in the morning.
Homeless numbers have declined in the area recently. However, the issue still affects a diverse crowd, as explained by 26-year-old LaRon Joseph.
Got a lot of homeless brothers out here. People, black and white, Spanish. People look at us like we be tripping. Yeah, a lot of us do drugs. A lot of us do alcohol. But still won't eat. You know what I'm saying?
The homeless population in Louisiana has decreased every year since 2014. Various shelters in the state have begun to offer multi-step programs. Brian says that a call to action is more beneficial than simply offering temporary free shelter.
In Louisiana, I have to say these are some of the laziest people I've ever met in my life, to where sometimes in Louisiana, especially this state, homelessness is an addiction to some.
Homelessness still exists in Baton Rouge, but increased community efforts continue to take more people off the streets. For Tiger TV News, I'm Mario Jerez.
The number of homeless people in the city has decreased each of the last 3 years. According to a 2016 survey, 472 people were homeless in Baton Rouge last year.
The Highland Road Park Observatory is preparing to celebrate its 20th anniversary. Unfortunately, one problem is overshadowing the celebration. Tiger TV's Philip Fletridge has more.
Nestled in the trees off Highland Road, the Highland Road Park Observatory was founded in 1997 and is preparing to celebrate its 20th anniversary.
The Baton Rouge Astronomical Society, which was founded in 1981, wanted an observatory here, and in partnership with the BRAC and LSU, who owns both of the telescopes, they built this place.
Education curator Amy Briette says that the observatory was founded with the ideals of giving young astronomers and students the tools to fuel their passion and learn.
We educate the public, and we try to make sure that the sky is free for everyone to see.
While the observatory should be preparing for its 20th anniversary, there is a problem.
There's Landolt Observatory on the top of Nicholson, but it is not feasible because of the light pollution from the city. And the light pollution is slowly encroaching on this location as well, sadly.
Light pollution is the brightening of the night sky caused by streetlights and other man-made sources. Light pollution inhibits the observation of stars and planets. But how can light pollution be fixed?
People need to start capping their street lights so that the light goes just down at the road, not up into the sky. There's some places that have really good recessed lighting. Women's Hospital is one.
For their 20th anniversary, the Highland Road Park Observatory has set a goal to get the light pollution down to 20. Regardless of the outcome, their mission will always be the same.
That's why this place is here, because the sky is supposed to be free for all. And we try to educate people as much as possible.
For Tiger TV, I'm Philip Fletridge.
Light pollution is defined as excessive and inappropriate artificial light. The Highland Road Observatory is open to the public Monday through Friday.
Velvet ropes and hushed voices aren't for everyone at a museum. CNN's Karen Kaifa shows us a Washington exhibit where museum goers can immerse themselves in the art.
Weekday morning in Washington, visitors are queued up at the Smithsonian's Hirshhorn Museum and Sculpture Garden. The big draw, not the works of a fresh up-and-comer, and mostly off the wall.
It really is this idea of infinity in its full three-dimensionality that you see in the infinity mirror rooms that makes this exhibition so special.
Fueling record Hirshhorn crowds are the mirrored walls of a handful of small, so-called infinity rooms, where visitors spend less than a minute. The artist, Yayoi Kusama, is nearly 88 years old. Her lifelong struggles with anxiety and hallucinations channeled into decades of works defined by repetition. Patterns like polka dots and her beloved pumpkins to infinity. And more than 50 years after the first version of this peep show-esque work titled Love Forever, another element of infinity for Kusama. The museum's Infinite Kusama hashtag has reached more than 35 million social feeds thanks to the art's Instagram-friendly colors and vibe.
And I can put it anywhere I want.
This is the obliteration room, which throws out that old museum notion of look but don't touch and says look but do touch, and encourages visitors to leave a lasting artistic impression.
These walls, this furniture, all of this was once a stark white. Today, visitors place colored dots as they please. Hirshhorn Museum Director Melissa Chu says Kusama's interactive concepts show an artist ahead of her time.
Even though Kusama's been making these kinds of works since the mid-1960s, I think it's today, in 2017, that actually people are fully understanding them.
But to fully understand Kusama, Chu says it's still key among selfies and hashtags and snaps to have a private connection with the art too.
Just for a moment, if we're able to put down our cell phones and actually experience something in almost a meditative way, I think that that's what people take away from this, that there's just this moment in which there's a common ground, there's a universality of experience, that we are, to use Kusama's words, one tiny speck within the cosmos.
A different concept of an image gone viral. In Washington, I'm Karen Kaifa.
For museum lovers here in Louisiana, downtown Baton Rouge can fulfill all of your cultural needs.
Coming up after the break, hear why the FBI director made a trip to the Capitol and when you can expect him to return.
We'll be right back.
This week in politics, the battle over repealing and replacing Obamacare continues. The new health care bill released by Republicans is receiving criticism from both sides of the aisle. Earlier this week, the Congressional Budget Office released a report saying that replacing the Affordable Care Act could cause 24 million Americans to lose their health insurance. House Minority Leader Nancy Pelosi admits Obamacare isn't perfect, but thinks the GOP attempt to replace it won't work.
We believe that health care is a right, not for all, not a privilege for the few. We believe that the Affordable Care Act has been successful in meeting its goals of lowering cost, of expanding access, and improving benefits. Can we do better? Yes, and we'd like to do that in a bipartisan way. We invite the President and our colleagues to join us in that regard.
Yesterday, the FBI Director James Comey was on Capitol Hill to meet with the chairman and ranking member of the Senate Judiciary Committee. In a classified setting, Comey briefed Senators Chuck Grassley and Dianne Feinstein on investigations into Russia's involvement in the 2016 election. Following the meeting, the two had very little to say about what exactly was discussed in the meeting. Comey is set to publicly testify before White House Intelligence Committee on Monday. The FBI director is expected to be asked questions regarding President Trump's baseless accusations that Trump Tower was wiretapped last year on direct orders from President Obama. Thus far, both Republicans and Democrats do not have any evidence to support Trump's claims. Trump will be meeting with German Chancellor Angela Merkel tomorrow after a massive winter storm forced Tuesday's planes to be canceled. The two leaders are expected to discuss a variety of issues, including Russia, immigration, and trade. That's all the time we have for politics today. Back to Michaela at the desk.
President Trump is wearing green one day early. On the eve of St. Patrick's Day, Trump welcomed Irish Prime Minister Enda Kenny to the White House. The two leaders met and discussed the impact that Brexit will have on Ireland as well as other topics. In honor of the wearing of the green holiday tomorrow, the two had a luncheon on Capitol Hill, and this was the first meeting between both of the two leaders.
We've had the opportunity to talk about issues about Ireland, issues about the United Kingdom, issues about Europe, the relationship between Ireland and the US, immigration, and a number of other matters.
Tomorrow may pose a tough choice for many Baton Rouge Catholics as St. Patrick's Day falls on a Friday during the Lenten season. Baton Rouge Bishop Robert Munich says that this year, meat will be allowed for the annual celebration. In a statement Wednesday, the bishop said, quote, "Those who choose to accept this dispensation are strongly encouraged to make another act of penance or charity."
Well, yesterday may have been everything you do wrong, but today is just the opposite. Being National Everything You Do is Right Day.
Well, that is every day for me, Brett. But congrats on your special day of doing nothing wrong for once.
Now to a man who was always right. Max Hawkins has what is coming up next in sports.
Always right. LSU baseball continued their midweek woes last night. We'll show you highlights when we come back. Welcome back to the show. I'm Sports Director Max Hawkins. Well, Wednesday nights have plagued LSU baseball lately. They went 15 innings with UNO last night, but the Tigers' pitching gave in late, and they lost 7-4. LSU pitcher Todd Peterson got the start from Peterson fielded a ground ball and got it to Jake Slaughter, who got the runner out just in time. You saw that just there. Heck of a play by Slaughter. Later, Slaughter would hit a home run. Goes yard right there. That's Slaughter's second home run of the year. Just boomed that one. UNO would battle back to tie the score and send the game to extra innings, though. In the top of the 15th, UNO drove in 3 runs as LSU's pitching started to wane a little bit. The Tigers, unfortunately, couldn't find an answer back. You see the frustration on Kramer Robertson's face as he struck out late last night. The loss brings LSU to 13-5 on the season. They'll open up SEC play tomorrow against Georgia. LSU spring practice is in full swing now. We've heard Coach Ed Ogeron talk about how there are many starting spots open for grabs. One spot, cornerback. With Tre'Davious White headed to the NFL, someone will need to step up opposite Dante Jackson. The player most people are looking to is former 5-star recruit Kevin Tolliver. Tolliver had a rocky sophomore season, but he's looking to rebound in 2017.
I wanted a good sophomore season. I wanted to, have a better year than my freshman year, but, it's the past, so, I could just focus on compete every day. No spots given. It's just, just got to keep competing every day and just keep.
It may have been a bad year for the LSU men's basketball team, but the women, well, they're doing just fine. The LSU women's basketball team found out Monday evening they're in the NCAA tournament. It was a big turnaround for the Lady Tigers this season. They had a 10-21 record last season. They basically flipped it this year, finishing the year 20-11. They'll face number 9 seed Cal Berkeley in the first round on Saturday. Many fans are just happy to see the Lady Tigers relevant again. But we spoke to the team yesterday, and, well, they're not content with just making the tournament.
See, it's not enough to just make it to the tournament. We actually want to make some noise. So, just being here and practicing, we've been going hard. We've been going so hard. But it's just so fun. It's so fun to, just see your name on the TV, But we definitely don't want to go there and be in one and done.
More news when we come back.
And finally tonight, we want to wish a very happy birthday to our station manager, Amanda Luskin. Amanda is celebrating her 21st birthday today.
Hello, hello.
Amanda, what is she doing up there?
The evening before.
Wow, look at her. What a woman.
Great station.
The evening before the Louisiana. I look weird.
I'm ready to dig into this cookie cake right here.
Yes, we
Show
are
that for
so
everybody.
excited. Happy birthday, Amanda.
Happy birthday,
We are
Amanda.
so excited for you, 21.
Well, that's all the time we have for today. You can always keep up with us on social media and at lsunow.com. I'm Brett Hauser.
I'm Michaela Morgan.
I'm Max Hawkins.
Have a great evening,
Happy
Tigers.
birthday, Amanda.